So part of this big bill is going to start to unfold now that it's been signed. And we want to talk about school districts, When the Trump administration announced it's withholding nearly $7 billion federal dollars from education, 74 million of that counts in Minnesota. It's money Congress had already approved that legally should have already been given out. Well, yesterday, Jennifer Hoff showed you who and what that money is paying for. And now tonight, she's going to dig into how else districts have to come up with this money, and the likelihood on who it's going to fall on is you.
Man, it's hot out here.
On such a hot summer day, school is the last thing on these kids' minds. But for Mom, Dawn Lenio,
how did I not notice?
The district's woes are dominant.
Did you write your name?
As funding streams keep drying up.
There's so much going on as well that it kind of drowns out the important things and knowing where to focus your attention.
The Prior Lake Savage Area Schools is facing a $4 million budget shortfall. Lenio leading the way last year for a levy voters didn't pass. The school board now only has until the end of the month to decide to do it again.
I think it would be really important to get a levy on the ballot as soon as this November, especially with funding from the federal level, potentially being at risk.
This week, the Trump administration announced it's withholding nearly $7 billion in federal education dollars, 74 million of which Minnesota schools stand to lose. Writing in an email, it's reviewing that funding and remains committed to ensuring taxpayer resources are spent in accordance with the president's priorities.
It's really passing off the responsibility to the district level to come up with funding.
And frankly, the taxpayers, if a levy is the next stream that has to be explored.
Right.
Sources tell us 3 times as many districts than normal are considering a levy this year. The state's largest could miss out on 1.6 million of those federal funds alone, as Anoka Hennepin also stares down a $13 million deficit.
Are potential levies something that Anoka Hennepin is considering?
There's been conversations, but right now that is not something that has been on the table. The conversation is mostly focused on that the state has not met their funding obligations.
New teacher union president John Wohlhopter says the district last put forth a levy 4 years ago. Voters passed back then.
How confident are you that a levy would pass this go around?
Yeah, I think that's a really open question. As we've asked voters, as the district has asked voters, there's been a lot of support.
The chicken?
There may also be a lot of uncertainty right now, leaving budgets up in the air and how best to balance them. But one thing's for sure, these students will soak up summer as long as they can.
Is this one yours?
Jennifer Hoff, KARE 11 News.
The Prior Lake Savage superintendent laid out a timeline for the board at the meeting last month if it's going to consider that levy. It has another one coming up on the 14th as this deadline to decide on levy or not keeps dwindling.